Good Saturday evening, everyone. Just want to jump on here and give you a quick update on our severe weather potential for Sunday. I know we've been talking about this for some time, and here we are knocking on Sunday's door. So let's just get right to it. Our weather map for tomorrow shows strong to severe thunderstorms covering much of the state of Tennessee, as well as a flood risk that you see there shaded in red. Some of you all have received over half a foot of rain over the last few days, so you are definitely primed to see some flooding, especially some flash flooding if we get some heavier downpours. I'm honestly not sure why we're not under any kind of flood watches. West Tennessee is, Western Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois. If you live in a flood-prone area, go ahead and consider us under a flood watch and be ready to act if waters rise quickly. So just be prepared for that. So this is what we call a sounding. This is the results of a weather balloon launch. Now, we only do this in Tennessee. So if we want to see what a weather balloon launch would look like, say, in Crossville, we have to do what's called a modeled sounding. So we have to rely on model data to kind of tell us what would that sounding look like. And it's pretty accurate. We can glean a lot of information from this. And I won't go over all of this. I'll just go over some of the key things that some of us have been kind of honing in on. And one thing is something called storm relative helicity. So I'm circling that value right there. This is the amount of spin in the air. Now, this modeled sounding is for tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon, around 1 o'clock or so. Now, these values of storm relative helicity are a bit elevated, but they're not super concerning. So if we get a thunderstorm in the morning and early afternoon, it might have a little bit harder time trying to rotate. With that being said, though, 100 meters per second squared storm relative helicity in the 0 to 3 kilometers is not so insufficient that it wouldn't be able to rotate. It's just not, these are not just like really alarming numbers. Something we call CAPE, which is what I'm circling, kind of highlighting right there. Now, those are really high numbers for CAPE. And what is CAPE? CAPE is what we call convective available potential energy. So it's the amount of energy that's available. It's your hot, humid air. Okay, so we have plenty of that for tomorrow afternoon for storms to become strong to severe. But whether or not they'll be able to rotate enough to produce a tornado, that part is a little bit more in question, at least for the early hours of Sunday afternoon. Now, as we get into Sunday evening, you'll notice that now our storm relative helicity values have increased. Now, this is enough to produce a tornado. We normally look for values around 250 for the 0 to 3 kilometers, and we're at 247, so that's enough. However, you notice here that the CAPE values fell off just a little bit. They're still high, but the available energy trailed off a little bit. So, and looking forward at more modeled soundings later on into the evening, storm relative helicity just skyrockets up into the several hundreds, which would be more than enough to produce tornadoes. But then the convective available energy really went down. So, and that all that means is that tomorrow's primary threat will be damaging straight line winds, because straight line winds love elevated CAPE. They love just a little bit of helicity. We've got plenty of upper level energy. We've got that northwest flow that's going to be coming in from, say, Kentucky. So those are all, the primary risk tomorrow is going to be your damaging straight line winds, and those could be quite significant. We can never underestimate the power of straight line winds, especially with our saturated soils. So with these saturated soils, trees could topple. So let's hope that we don't get those straight line winds, and certainly we'll hope we dodge the tornado bullet. And again, this is a model, and this is only one model, but this has been kind of representative of many of the models. So we do have a tornado threat tomorrow, that is for sure. But it's not the main threat, I don't think. I think our main concern is going to be that squall line that comes in late tomorrow evening with the potential for some damaging straight line winds. So again, my concerns are unchanged from the last update that we did. Main threat time frame, the main threat time frame would be noon to midnight. I know that's a big window of time. Hopefully we'll be able to kind of hone in on a better time as we get into the day on Sunday. But all this is to say this. If you hear it thunder tomorrow, or you see dark storm clouds, you need to take them very seriously, because the atmosphere is going to be so volatile. And then we'll await a squall line coming in Sunday night. Now, I said noon to midnight. Looking at some of the latest data, we may have to push this till like 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. So anyway, I'll keep an eye on that too. So I'll have a full update early in the morning for you all, and I'll be monitoring all and looking at all the latest data that comes in. But the bottom line is the same story we've been telling all along. Be weather aware on your Sunday. Just be weather aware, and we're going to have to be weather aware on into the night on Sunday. So get a good night's sleep tonight. You may be wishing you could do that tomorrow night, but you may not be able to. So get a good night's rest tonight. Charge up everything that needs to be charged up. Take care of those generators. You may have to crank them things up. Premier generators can help you out if you need some help with that. But anyway, I'll be keeping an eye on things, folks. You just keep it right here at meteorologistsmart.com.